Hi everyone! Today we will present to you about bryophytes, and this is our group members, and also we are from group 8. For your information, bryophyte, including mosses, liverworts, and hornworts, are a fascinating group of non-vascular plants that often overlooked but vital in ecosystem. Unlike vascular plants, they lack specialized tissues for transporting waters and nutrients. Bryophytes are typically found in moist environments worldwide, from the Arctic tundra to the tropical rainforest. They play a very crucial role in soil formation by breaking down rocks and releasing organic matter. Additionally, bryophytes are champions of carbon sequestration, absorbing atmospheric carbon dioxide and store it in their tissues. They also provide habitats for various organisms such as insects, microorganisms, and even small animals.
Firstly, let's talk about threats to bryophyte worldwide. The first point is pollution. Air pollution such as industrial emission, vehicle exhaust, and other pollutants can damage bryophyte tissue and reduce their ability to photosynthesize. Bryophytes are highly sensitive to air pollution, especially to sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide emitted by industrial activities and vehicles. The other pollution is water contamination. Contamination of water bodies affect aquatic and semi-aquatic bryophytes. Pollutants like heavy metal and organic contaminants can be particularly harmful. Next is habitat and fragmentation. Deforestation and land use change. The conversion of forests to agricultural land, urban areas, and infrastructure projects leads to the destruction and fragmentation of habitats where bryophytes thrive. Deforestation for timber, agriculture, and urban development leads to the significant habitat loss. Forests are critical habitats for many bryophyte species, and their removal can lead to the local extinction of these species. Additionally, forest fragmentation isolates bryophyte population by reducing genetic diversity and increase vulnerability to environmental changes. Agricultural expansion is another significant threat. The conversion of forest, wetland, and grassland into agricultural land reduces available habitat for bryophyte. Intensive farming practices also degrade soil quality and disrupt the delicate balance of bryophyte ecosystem. The third threat is invasive species. Invasive plant species pose a significant threat to bryophyte by outcompeting them for light, nutrient, and space. These invasive species often grow faster and are more resilient to environmental stressors, which allow them to dominate habitats and displace native bryophytes. Additionally, some invasive animals may alter the habitat structure or directly feed on bryophytes, further threatening their survival. Let's move on to the conservation measure. First is about protected areas. Protected areas such as national park, nature reserve, and wildlife sanctuaries are crucial for conserving bryophyte habitats. These areas provide safe environments for free significant human disturbance by allowing bryophyte to thrive. The first example is national park, and the next example is nature reserve. Nature reserve specifically designed to protect unique ecosystem, also to support bryophyte conservation. Secondly is habitat restoration project. Habitat restoration aims to rehabilitate degraded ecosystem to their natural state by supporting the recovery of bryophyte population. Restoration projects often focus on re-establishing native plant communities by improving soil and water quality and also removing invasive species. The example of habitat restoration is peatland restoration and forest restoration. Third is pollution control. By reducing air and water pollution is crucial for protecting bryophytes, which are highly sensitive to environmental contaminants. Effective pollution control measures help maintain the health of bryophyte population and their habitat. There are two ways stated here to control the pollution. First is air quality regulation and water quality improvement. Last is management of invasive species. Invasive species pose a significant threat to native bryophytes by outcompeting them for resources. Managing invasive species is critical to maintaining healthy bryophyte population. There are two ways stated here, which is mechanical removal and biological control. Mechanical removal is physically removing invasive plants from bryophyte habitats, can reduce competition and allow native species to recover, while biological control is by using predators or pathogens to control invasive species, can be an effective and environmentally friendly approach.
Ex-situ conservation strategy, the preservation of biological diversity away from its native environment, known as ex-situ conservation, maintaining living collection in several method of ex situ for bryophyte. Researchers and conservation hope to preserve bryophyte species genetic variety and guarantee their survival against environment challenges like pollution and climate change, implementing this ex situ conservation technique. So this is the several method of ex situ. First is cryopreservation to preserve the genetic diversity of bryophyte species in tissue sample, seed or spore. Plants should are kept for a long time at a very low temperature. So this is the technique of preservation of bryophyte. Next is botanical garden. Collection of bryophyte at certain botanical garden where bryophyte can be grown and studied. Next is seed bank. Maintain seed bank for bryophyte, ensuring long-term viability and preserving genetic variety can support ecology restoration initiative. Lastly, tissue culture. To propagate bryophyte in controlled laboratory setting using artificial media containing nutrient and hormone. What are recommendations in bryophyte conservation? First is habitat protection. Second is education awareness to increase public policy and land management awareness about bryophyte role in ecosystem through education program. Third is research and monitoring to conduct survey and research to understand bryophyte distribution, abundance, and ecological requirement. Next is policy and legislation to implement regulation and policies that promote the preservation of bryophyte, including the protected areas, land use control, and their inclusion in biodiversity. Next is ex situ conservation. Lastly, the habitat restoration to improve the condition of degraded bryophyte habitat by removing invasive species and microclimate.
In conclusion, bryophytes are more than just humble mosses, liverworts, and homeworts. They are the unsung heroes of our ecosystem, playing critical roles in soil health, carbon storage, and biodiversity. However, they face numerous threats from habitat loss to pollution and invasive species. Fortunately, there are conservation measures in place, including habitat protection, restoration efforts, and ex situ conservation strategies. Yet the journey to safeguarding bryophyte is far from over. It requires collective action from individuals, organizations, and governments worldwide. By advocating for sustainable land use practices, raising awareness, and fostering collaboration, we can ensure the survival of these small yet very important organisms for generations to come. Let's work together to protect bryophytes and preserve the intricate balance of our planet ecosystem. That's all from us. Thank you.